Live from Atlanta at the Ritz Carlton downtown. It's the 55th annual Cable TV Pioneers Banquet. Inducting the class of 2021. Made possible by our Gold Coat sponsor, Cable Labs. With contributions from our prime sponsors, Comcast, NBC Universal, VMware, Crown Media, PK Network, CommScope. Thanks to our additional supporting sponsors and friends of the Pioneers. This celebration is streamed exclusively by Fourth Wave.
How about this? Hello and good evening. I'm Dave Fellows, and I'm happy to welcome you to the Cable TV Pioneers 55th Annual Banquet. And I'm pleased the Governor of Georgia also welcomes you. Let me read this wonderful letter for you today. Brian Kemp, Governor. Dear members and guests, it is my honor to welcome you to Atlanta for the 55th Annual Cable TV Pioneers Banquet. Your organization has a long history of honoring and uplifting leaders in the cable TV industry, and Georgia is excited to play host to you as you welcome the newest class of pioneers into your fold. Cable TV is one of the defining industries of our time, launching innumerable careers while informing and entertaining countless individuals across America and across the world. To be where you sit tonight, you each worked hard to rise to the top of your field. Georgia is proud to be one of the best states for TV production with unmatched infrastructure, such as varied locations, a world-class airport, and a large crew base. On behalf of the state of Georgia and the Kemp family, have a wonderful evening and congratulations to the 2021 class of Cable TV Pioneers. You know, I've had the pleasure of being chairman of the Cable TV Pioneers for the past 4 years. And tonight I'm pleased to announce that Yvette Knuth, our current vice chair, will step up to the chair spot. Jim Gleason will become the new vice chairman, and Matt Polka will add treasurer to his secretary duties. Great news for all pioneers. Congratulations, Jim, Matt, and Yvette.
Thank you so much, Dave. And I have to tell you, thank you so much for leading us through absolutely crazy times in these 4 years that you've been chairman. And you've gone through change of locations, you've taken us through COVID, so we appreciate all that you've done for the Pioneers. Thank you. So I'm looking forward to my new role, just like I'm looking forward to celebrating tonight's amazing inductees. And I'm looking forward to celebrating that with all of you here, as well as all of the people that are at home.
And it's nice to get dressed up again, too. Not that Western attire we wore last year was bad.
Hey, if you guys are wondering about our cowboy hats, we did something really big last year. So we were talking about what are we going to do without a Pioneer dinner? So we decided to broadcast the event from beautiful Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and it was really special, Dave, wasn't it? I mean, it was amazing. And it was the first, and hopefully the last, induction to be done remotely. Right? I wish we could personally congratulate each and every one of those winners last year, inductees last year.
Well, they're not all here tonight, but I thought I saw quite a few from the class of 2020. So please stand when Yvette calls your name. We want to give you a well-deserved welcome.
Absolutely. Richard Proden. Ann Montgomery. Peter Rubin. Elaine Partridge. John Williams. Paul Broadhurst. Shane Portfolio. And for all of the inductees at home, congratulations again. How's this, better? Oh my gosh, much better.
Well, okay, Yvette, with the new microphone, let's ditch the hats because we're here in Atlanta now.
All right. Although I like the hats.
Atlanta's a town rooted in cable innovation, from Turner Networks to Cox, Antec, Eris, Scientific Atlanta, CommScope, the Weather Channel, the list, it's just a few of the many companies that are based here, and what better place to celebrate our 55th annual banquet.
That's so true, as the governor even said, much history here. It feels so terrific to get back together again. But let's face it, it's been a very tough year, and we've lost so many friends, myself included. As many of you know, I lost my wonderful husband of a heart failure a year ago. So I want to just thank everyone here for helping us focus on safety and following the safety rules of the City of Atlanta as well as the CDC. And we're doing the same. We're wearing our masks when we aren't on stage, and we have our eating and drinking, of course, as an exception.
Well, look, putting up with all of these rules is worth it to get to see everyone. And broadband is allowing us to share this year's induction to our cabletvpioneers.com website. So we're live streaming at the same time we're presenting to you.
So if you're watching from home, I'll ask you to relax. Please grab some bubbly. And because we're live, our celebration will accommodate a short intermission while we have a quick dinner break.
Okay, Yvette, I can feel the anticipation growing.
Excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend, our Gold Coat sponsor, CableLab CEO, technology innovator, and Eagle Scout, Phil McKinney.
Thanks, Yvette. Thanks, Dave. So, as Yvette and Dave both shared, you know, it's been a tough year for an industry. We had also planned the Tech Expo show to be kicking off this week here in Atlanta, but transitioned that to being virtual. Some exciting news, though, did happen over the year, particularly impacting Cable Labs and our role in the industry. We completed the acquisition and integration of SCTE to be part of the Cable Labs family. So Mark Zubin and I are now joined at the hips and driving that activity going forward. Compared to everybody in this room, I probably can still get away with saying I'm the new guy. I used to do that for most of you know me the first couple of years. I just passed year 9, so I don't qualify for even being considered for pioneers. But one individual that those of us at Cable Labs are very proud to be being inducted this year. And I'm taking advantage of being the gold table sponsor here to have a little fun at his expense. So Chris Lammers is, he's listed in the book as the Chief Operating Officer of Cable Labs. If you know anything, if you keep up with Chris and his activities, Chris is trying to retire, but the chain is still attached to the desk. I have not unlocked the chain officially as of yet, so he is still engaged heavily at Cable Labs and played a role on the SCT piece. But after 4 decades in the industry, starting off as a lawyer outside, lawyer inside, being a CEO of an operator before coming to Cable Labs, I think Chris has run the gauntlet. The only thing left is to go to the dark side and work on the vendor side of the industry. So he hasn't, okay, you can get even with me later. I heard the groans. You know, his role at Cable Labs and his partnership with me coming in as a new guy from outside the industry was critical to the success of Cable Labs. Under his leadership in our international expansion, we went from 19 members to 65 members now in 35 countries, all to Chris's energy. And if you've tracked his airline miles, he would average anywhere to upwards of 30 trips a year outside of the United States to bring together the global industry, and keeping in mind that the cable industry outside the U.S. is much larger than inside the U.S. So, and also, the one thing I want to keep Chris around, if you know anything about Chris, is you always want him to pick the wine list at any of your events. Do not, always defer to Chris. So with that, I'm going to wrap up here, except I don't have my, where's my wording for, I got to get into the right position. So now I get to read it. Wow, someone's got the teleprompters pointing in the wrong direction. I know what a president feels like, trying to get it right. Now it gives me great pleasure to get this party rolling by introducing the first new members of the Cable Pioneer class of 2021.
Jim McCauley is a principal and president of DB Communications Sales Services. In 1983, Jim moved into sales and operations with a tower firm. Then, in 1987, to director of sales for the Gerald Division of General Instrument. There, his portfolio included planning and implementing a 3,500-mile new build in Sacramento. In 1994, Jim purchased DB Communications, a manufacturer's representative for multiple lines. The company reps optical cable, RF, and digital electronics and Ethernet test equipment. A longtime SCTE member, Jim and DB Communications provided financial support and participated in cable events such as SCTE's Cable Games. Jim is sponsored by Mark Manning and Larry Stiffelman.
Thank you to the Cable Pioneers for this exceptional honor. I'd also like to thank my sponsors, Mark Manning, who's been a friend and colleague for over 37 years, along with Larry Stiffelman. I'm eternally grateful to the cable industry, which has graciously included me in an uncharted journey along with the expansion and growth of the industry. It was a privilege to make this journey along with all the other pioneers. And of course, I'd like to thank my wife, Beth, and our 4 children for all their support. Thank you.
Dale Ellifritz is Regional Vice President of Network Engineering for Comcast's Philadelphia region. His early years were spent as a lineman building cable plant before joining Heritage Cablevision in 1983. Dale became Director of Engineering for AT&T Broadband in South Puget Sound and eventually Director of Technical Operations for Comcast in Cleveland. A longtime supporter of SCTE, WICT, and NAMIC, Dale served as President of NAMIC's Houston chapter in 2009. He advocates for Veterans Affairs and served as chairman for Freedom's VetNet Employee Resource Group. He was a director for Target Hunger, a Houston food bank, and he is a longtime supporter of United Way, Red Cross, and the Epilepsy Foundation. Dale is sponsored by Larry Hansen and Stan Von Felt.
What an incredible honor to be recognized as a cable pioneer. I'd like to say thank you to Larry Hansen and Stan Von Felt, not only for sponsoring me here, but also for all the support you've provided throughout the years. A special thank you to two good friends and mentors and fellow pioneers, Mike Mason and Tony Speller, for all the support and guidance you've given me through the years and all that you've done for my career and for my family. Lisa and I thank you. And finally, to my wife Lisa, to my son Heath, and daughter Jacqueline, without your love, faith, and support, we could not have accomplished any of this. Thank you. And to the Cable Pioneer Committee, thank you again for this incredible honor.
Pat Baumann is National Advertising Sales Manager for Cable One. Pat began in 1980 as production manager with Storer Communications in Dallas-Fort Worth. She joined TV Guide magazine in 1984 and moved to Lifetime Network as Regional Vice President of Field Marketing and Affiliate Relations. Pat was named Sales Executive of the Year at Lifetime. At Cable One, she has received the President's Club Award. Pat was board member of Dallas-Fort Worth American Women in Radio and Television and the WICT chapter and national boards. She also served on CTAM and many state association boards. Pat was president of USA Dance Dallas and an ambassador for World Vision. Pat is sponsored by Bruce Martin and Bill Arnold.
I'm Pat Bachman. I started my cable career over 40 years ago, making $10,500 a year. I thought I'd struck gold, but you know what? I truly had. I've had the opportunity and privilege to work alongside so many of you in this room. It really has been pure gold. I want to give a special thank you to my incredible sponsors, Bruce Martin and Bill Arnold, both treasured friends. I gratefully and humbly accept this honor. Thank you so much.
Michael Adams is president of Broadband Semantics Consulting. In 2001, he was named Time Warner's VP of Roadrunner Engineering. In 2003, he joined Terayon Communications as Vice President of Technology and Architecture. Michael is the author of Open Cable Architecture 2000. He co-authored the second edition of Modern Cable Television Technology in 2004. Michael holds 9 patents focused on network scaling, video inversion, and bandwidth optimization. A member of SCTE since 1993, he was named a senior member in 2003. Michael co-chaired the joint engineering group between NCTA and the Consumer Electronics Organization. He is a champion donor of the SCTE Foundation and served as president of the board for his Littleton, Colorado community. Michael is sponsored by Tom Gorman and Jim Farmer.
I would like to thank Dave Pangras, Jim Chiddix, Mike Hayashi, and Lewis Williamson for teaching me about the technology and business of cable TV. I'm truly humbled by this honor and so grateful to everyone who helped me, especially my sponsors, Tom Gorman and Jim Farmer. To my sons, Dave and Jack, and to my wife, Kat, I'm proud of you and I love you.
Amy McLean has been with CableFax Access Intelligence for 21 years, joining in 2000 as editor. She is currently editorial director. Prior to joining Access Intelligence as editor-in-chief, she was a reporter in Atlanta and Montgomery. Amy has made CableFax coverage a key part of industry gatherings such as Diversity Week, Cable Hall of Fame, the T. Howard Fundraising Dinner, WICT, NAPT, and the Cable Pioneers Annual Banquet. CableFax has become the official show daily of SCTE's annual Cable Tech Expo. Amy volunteers with the Cub Scouts, PTA, Girl Scouts, and a nonprofit that collects food and essentials for poor families. Amy is sponsored by Bob Gold and David Anderson.
I'm pretty sure I covered my first cable TV Pioneers event when the wonderful Les Reed reached out and said, "If I get you a ticket, kiddo, will you come?" It is surreal to be in the honorees seat. I've had so many fun, amazing experiences covering this industry, and this is kind of like, you know, hearing the rock concert and then the band inviting you backstage. Thank you for your trust and your support. A big thank you to my sponsors, Bob Gold and Dave Anderson. A huge shout out to all the CableFaxers I've had the pleasure to work with, past and present, as well as my Access Intelligence colleagues. And thank you to my husband, John. You're wonderful and you have my back always.
John Roos is Executive Vice President of Corporate Communications and Research with INSP LLC, formerly the Inspiration Network. He joined the network in January of 1994 as Vice President of Marketing. In 1977, John started in cable as an account executive and Director of Marketing Services with the Christian Broadcasting Network. Along the way, he has worked with the Cable Advertising Bureau, CTAM, and NCTA in lobbying efforts. He served as moderator at many industry panels and contributed to Cable World, Multi-Channel News, and Independent Cable News. Active in church and community, John is also a professional musician and prolific writer. He holds a master's degree in international studies from Old Dominion University. John is sponsored by Bert Braverman and Glenn Friedman.
I'm grateful for the nomination for Bert Braverman and Glenn Friedman. The idea of being called a pioneer is a bit overwhelming. I've been forced to look back over more than 40 years in the industry, thinking about all the people that I have to be thankful for and the amazing opportunities I've been given. In particular, I want to thank David Cirillo, for whom I've worked for over 27 years, and Dale Artizone, my colleague for more than 20. With them, it's been great to blaze trails, and with the other wonderful people in this room.
Diego Gastaldi is Managing Director with VMware Inc. Prior to VMware, Diego was Managing Director of Cloud IT with Cisco Systems. His cable career began in June of 1992 as a field engineer. He later joined ADC Communications as Senior Regional Manager for Latin America. In September of 1998, Diego was named Scientific Atlanta's Director of Business Development for Europe, Latin America, and the Asia-Pacific region. Active in his home community, Diego has served as Chairman of Atlanta Mobility. He participated on the Board of Trustees at Notre Dame Academy, an independent Catholic and international world school in Duluth, Georgia. Diego is sponsored by Ken Clare and Viva Rustalji.
It is a great honor to be inducted as Cable TV Pioneer Class of 2021. I dedicate this to my wife Vicky, my children Felipe, Clara, Tobias, and Lorenzo for their unconditional love and support. I want to thank the selection committee, my sponsor and great friend Ken Clare, co-sponsor Viva Rustalji, and the Cable TV family at large. Starting in cable while I was still in college in Argentina, I never imagined I would get to where I am today. Over the past 30 years, I got to work with incredible people for which I will be forever grateful. It is a profound privilege to be in your company today. Thank you.
Peter Barton was advisor and personal assistant to John Malone at TCI from 1982 to 1986. He then served as president of the Home Shopping Network. He was co-founder, president, and CEO of Liberty Media, shepherding and investing in Discovery Networks, Time Warner, Turner Broadcasting, Starz, Fox Sports, HSN, and BET. In 1997, Peter founded the Privacy Foundation at the University of Denver, where he was also an adjunct professor. He sat on several corporate boards of directors. On September 8, 2002, Peter died of cancer. He would now be 70 years old. Peter is sponsored anonymously by a pioneer who has not forgotten his quiet, behind-the-scenes assistance to NCTC members.
Tracy Baumgartner is the Vice President of Business Process Effectiveness for Comcast Cable. Starting at Mind Extension University in 1992, she moved to Jones Intercable's corporate headquarters in 1996. She then joined Comcast as Public Relations Manager. A Betsy Magnus Leadership Institute graduate, Tracy has served on many industry boards. She was president of WICT's Rocky Mountain chapter and has also served the boards of Women's Way, Goodwill Industries, and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Advisory Council, a recipient of numerous civic and industry awards. Tracy was WICT's 2008 Woman of the Year and chapter president in 2010. She now serves as president of the Denver Performing Arts Academy. Tracy is sponsored by Cynthia Carpenter and Sam Klosterman.
Behind every successful woman is generally a group of other successful women who have her back. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Cynthia Carpenter and Sam Klosterman, Cindy Parsons and Sarah Eater, and so many women at WICT Rocky Mountain for having mine all these years. I've been in this industry my entire career. I'm a cable lifer, and I've had the opportunity to work for some amazing leaders, including cable pioneer Rob Stoddard, Jana Henthorne, and Brad Dusto. Thank you so much for thinking more of me sometimes than I thought of myself. To my Comcast family, I'd like to say thank you for an amazing 20 years, and to the team I currently work on to embed sustainability into our business. I'm so proud of the work we're doing alongside each other. And to my husband, Jeff, we've had an incredible journey in this industry together, and it's not over yet. No matter where, no matter what, right? Thank you. I'm so honored to be a cable pioneer.
Richard Amell began with Cox Communications in March of 1970. He was chief technician in Indiana and New York before moving to the company's design department in Atlanta. Richard moved to Metrovision in 1979 as vice president of engineering before accepting a similar position with Time Warner Cable's national division. He was named corporate vice president of video engineering and operations for Bright House. Richard has held leadership positions with SCTE, including the Chattahoochee chapter president. He was elected to the National Board of Directors in 2008. Richard has coached Little League Baseball, been an assistant scoutmaster for the Boy Scouts, and is a vestry member of St. David's Episcopal Church in Roswell, Georgia. Richard is sponsored by Butch Roberson and Keith Hayes.
I am humbled to have been nominated and selected to become a member of the Cable TV Pioneers. Thank you. A special thanks goes to Butch Roberson for nominating me and serving as my sponsor. I also want to recognize and thank Mr. Dick Hickman, who mentored me throughout most of my career. Dick is a cable TV pioneer who is now gone, but not forgotten. Thank you, cable TV pioneers everywhere. It is truly an honor to join your ranks.
Well, what an outstanding group, and that's just the beginning. Just think, over the past 5 decades, we've grown to more than 700 members, and tonight we're adding 24 accomplished people to the club. Now let's take a look at how it all began, and then we'll welcome some more new pioneers.
(1966), a year that would influence the decades to come. The Beatles and the Beach Boys rocked the charts. The Ford Mustang was the best-selling car. Star Trek launched on NBC, and Ed Sullivan anchored Sunday night. 1966 was a defining moment for cable, too. There were more than 1 million cable TV subscribers watching up to 22 cable channels. At the 1966 annual National Cable TV Association convention in Miami, 21 cable entrepreneurs met to recognize their leadership and achievements and the industry they had invented. Each received a plaque and pin to commemorate the event. They became the first class of the cable TV pioneers. Most of those pioneers are responsible for building the foundation of today's modern cable broadband industry. That dinner, over half a century ago, set the standards the pioneers continue to follow. Induction into the pioneers is based on nominations by current pioneers, the nominees' leadership in the industry and in their communities, and their proven track record of going the extra mile to make a difference.
R. Thomas Umstead is Content Program Manager for Broadcasting Plus Cable, Multi-Channel News. Tom joined the staff in 1987 and has also served as the publication's pay-per-view and sports editor, as well as its multimedia editor. Previous assignments include editing for Cablevision magazine and as a contributing editor with Video Business magazine. Tom has served in many groups including WICT, the Emma Bowen Foundation, T. Howard Foundation, and Future Now Media Foundation. He has been a moderator and panelist for CTAM, NAPTI, NAMIC, and the Walter Cates Foundation, and is a 20-year member of the Television Critics Association. Tom was a member of the NAACP and with the National Association of Black Journalists. Tom is sponsored by Joe Schramm and William McGorry.
I'm truly honored to join the Cable Pioneers, and I want to congratulate my fellow 2021 classmates. I want to thank Joe Schramm and Bill McGorry for sponsoring me for this prestigious honor. I also want to recognize my beautiful wife Kim and my daughters Ayana and Monique for their love and support. And I also want to give a shout out to all of my friends, colleagues, editors, and family who have supported me through what has been my dream job. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Bob Scanlon was Senior Vice President, Executive Producer, and member of the founding management team at Speedvision Network from 1995 to 2002. He joined Discovery in 2008 as Vice President of Emerging Networks, charged with rebranding Discovery HD Theater to Velocity. His groundbreaking production techniques and strategies have raised the value of cable programming and increased subscriber growth. Bob was most recently president of Velocity Motor Trend, a division of Discovery, Inc. His work has been recognized with 9 National Emmy Awards. Consulting with the NFL, Bob was instrumental in the launching of NFL Network, including the branding and logos and planning initial programming content and schedules. An advisor to NASCAR driver Kyle Petty's Victory Junction camp, he arranged television coverage for a cross-country rally. Bob is sponsored by Roger Williams and David Zaslav.
Let me start by thanking the pioneers for inviting me and my sponsors, David Zaslav and Roger Williams. Now, I know I only have 30 seconds here, but I want to make the point that as a content guy, we too also have a lot to offer in addition to the myriad engineers and technicians who are already members. In fact, I have a 30-second clock in my head, developed over the years, so I know exactly when.
Patricia Patsy Smolin is president of California Oregon Broadcasting. Patsy has been with the company since her graduation from college in the early 1970s. She was vice president and part owner of Southern Oregon Cable Television and Humboldt Bay Cable Television in Northern California from 1973 to 1982. Patsy was later president and owner of Crestview Cable from 1982 to 2017, all family-owned. Patsy was president of the Oregon and Northwest Cable Associations. She supported the California Cable TV Association, CTAM, NAPTI, Promax, and NCTA. Patsy is well known in the Northwest for her philanthropy and university scholarships and preventative health initiatives throughout the region. Patsy is sponsored by Amy Tykeson and Pat Thompson.
Thank you all so much, and most especially thanks to my sponsors, Amy and Pat. Nothing in my career has ever replaced the fun of literally growing up in the cable television business. I'm quite grateful to have been a part of a new and thriving industry full of fun and hard work, and decades later, a much more sophisticated, challenging, and complex industry. Cheers to all of you.
Tom McMillan is managing partner of St. Louis-based Nevis Advisors. He spent 5 years at CENTCOM before joining Crown Cable as VP of Corporate Development. In 1993, he joined Marcus as Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Management positions with several mid-sized MSOs followed. Then Tom joined Nevis as Managing Partner in 2017. Active in the Mid-America Cable Telecommunications Association, Tom received the 2013 Pathfinder Award. A member of the CTAM Foundation Board, he was awarded a Tammy for leadership. Outside cable, Tom serves on the Board of Governors for Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital Foundation, the country's only freestanding nonprofit Catholic pediatric hospital. Tom is sponsored by Ann Carlson and Lou Borelli.
Good evening. I would like to thank the cable pioneers, particularly Ann Carlson and Lou Borelli, for their nomination and support. I would like to thank Jerry Kent and Jeff Marcus, who both took a chance on me and placed great trust in me. And I'd like to thank the love of my life, my wife Bridgette, and our 3 amazing daughters, Molly, Caitlin, and Grace, for their unconditional love, support, and sacrifice. And finally, I'd like to recognize the thousands of incredible people I work with along the way. You made the journey fun, and I am forever grateful for the memories we made together. Thank you.
John Higginbotham is Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for ACA Connects. He previously served as Executive Vice President of Member Services and Chief of Staff. John came to ACA Connects from the Frankfurt Plant Board. a Kentucky broadband provider, where he was assistant general manager. John served on the NCTC Board of Directors from 2011 to 2017, participating on the hardware and marketing committees. He was also a CTAM member and a board member of the Kentucky Municipal Utility Association. He chaired the Franklin County chapter of the Red Cross and served on the executive board of the Frankfort Area Chamber of Commerce. John is sponsored by Patty Boyers and Frank Hughes.
I'm humbled to join this illustrious group of cable TV pioneers. I'd like to thank my Frankfort Plant Board mentors, Warner Keynes and David Sandage, and to have the best muni in the USA, I share this honor with you. To my NCTC and ACA Connects mentors, Bob Gessner, Tom Gleason, and Matt Polka, I'm thankful for your generosity. To my sponsors, Patty Jo Boyers and Frank Hughes, many thanks for your friendship. And to my wife, Jan, my sons Logan and Christian, thank you for your love and patience. I love you all.
Wanya Lucas is President and Chief Executive Officer of Crown Media Family Network. In 1997, Wanya was promoted to VP of Business Operations for TNT, TBS, and Turner Classic Movies. She moved to the Weather Channel in 2002 as Executive Vice President of Strategic Marketing, then General Manager. She then joined Discovery Communications as Executive Vice President and CEO for Discovery and Science Channels. In 2011, she became President and CEO of TV One before accepting the position of President and CEO of Public Broadcasting Atlanta. Wanya has served on the boards of WICT, CTAM, Children's Museum of Atlanta, and EW Scripps, and was the Vice Chair of the NPR Board. She now serves as a Sundance Institute trustee and Peabody Awards juror. Wanya is sponsored by Bridget Baker and Jana Henthorn.
Thank you to the cable TV pioneers for this great honor. And I would also like to acknowledge and thank my sponsors and my fellow Cable Center board members, Bridget Baker and Jenna Henthorn. Now, I am beyond grateful and indeed humbled to be accepting this award in the midst of my fellow honorees that I so deeply admire and respect. And I've had the great pleasure and good fortune to work on some of the most iconic media brands in the world, including CNN, the Weather Channel, Discovery, and now the Hallmark channels. And I've had the fortune and the benefit of being the recipient of wisdom, opportunities, occasional tough love, but always care and kindness from some of the best mentors ever, such as Julia Sprunt, Terry McGurk, Decker Anstrom, and now Mike Perry. I'd also like to thank all the team members that I've had the great pleasure of working with over the years. They have always been just simply the best. I mean, the brightest, but also a ton of fun. And a little known fact is that I represent the second generation of cable within my family. My final thank you goes to the first generation. My mother, Ruby Lucas, who was the VP of Community Affairs and a board member at Turner Broadcasting. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for your warm and generous spirit. Thank you for your sharp mind, your love, and always, always your inspiration. And thank you for teaching me to work and live with dignity, grace, kindness, and a dollop of grit. Thank you.
I'm so impressed. What a terrific class. And we have more to meet. So let's take a short intermission and have some dinner and recognize the support behind this celebration. And I also would like to congratulate our 25th anniversary class of 1996.
"25 years ago, the Telecommunications Act of 1996 expanded competition, providing more consumer choice. More new networks launched, and cable MSOs began multi-billion-dollar build-outs of fiber and hybrid coax infrastructures. The 1996 class of super achievers led the way. And now, we celebrate their 25th anniversary. Michael Angie, Martin Brophy, Ann Burr, David Clark, Joseph Cohen, Jody Daly, James Hart, Ben Hooks, Thomas Jokerst, David Kinley, Sally Kinsman, Paul Levine, Terry McGurk, Trig Myron, Bill Padalino, Lawrence Shewak, Robert Trentley, Mike Welch.
As a nonprofit organization, we depend upon support and contributions from our sponsors and friends. This year, with their generosity, we celebrate the class of 2021 in style. Please give them a giant round of applause. Cable Labs, VMware, Crown Media, CommScope, Fourth Wave, Red Hat, Grande RCN Wave, ACA Connects, Sparklight, DB Communications, Dycom Industries, Carlson Resources, CEA Worldwide, Comcast, NBC Universal, PK Network, AMC, Service Electric, SCTE, Cable Center, NCTA, Broadcasting plus Cable Multi-Channel News.
Let's also acknowledge the behind-the-scenes efforts of our board of directors, who all serve as volunteers. Their hard work makes our celebration a success. Dave Fellows, Frank Trendle, Jim Faircloth, Gene Gay, Jim Gleason, Yvette Caniff, Pat Kehoe, Patty McCaskill, Sean McGrail, Mike Panzik, John Pasquarelli, Matt Polka, Jeff Ross, Lisa Schoenthaler, Susan Bitter-Smith.
this working? Yes. If I could have your attention, please. I'd like to say that last year, Pioneer Ingenuity met COVID's challenge. Our ceremony was the first ever cable trade TV show broadcast and streamed, all thanks to C-SPAN and Pioneer Susan Swain, Rob Kennedy, and New England Sports Network and Pioneer Sean McGrail. Great work, and thank you so much. The Cable Center, which was founded by many cable TV pioneers, will do the same this year. The Cable Hall of Fame is on November 15th, and let's tune in for another wonderful celebration then. The pandemic affected each of us in many ways and certainly changed the way that we do business. We can all take so much pride in knowing our community rose to the challenge.
Our technology, work ethic, and dedication to closing the digital divide made a huge contribution to keeping America connected. Broadband gave millions of parents, students, businesses, workers, and communities the power to maintain relationships, strengthen family bonds, help businesses pivot, and keep our children engaged. Applications like telehealth, remote working, and online learning are now part of our new everyday and are a wonderful preview of the true power of 10G. As a community, we can take pride in knowing our industry's pioneering spirit and commitment to delivering advanced services kept and continues to keep America moving ahead during these trying times. And now, back to our inductees. Jim Holanda began in cable as a technician with Comcast in 1988. He joined Charter Communications in 1998 as Regional Vice President, then moved to Patriot Media in 2003 as President. Jim is currently CEO of Astound Broadband, the parent company, which includes Patriot Media, RCN, Grande Communications, and Wave Broadband. Jim is a member of the NCTC Board of Directors. A former member of both the board of the Missouri Cable and Telecommunications Association and the Mid-Atlantic Association, he has assisted the ACA Connects team with its DC lobbying efforts. Jim and his wife Mandy are very active in their home community of Montgomery Township. Jim is sponsored by Chuck Morris and Rick Palmer.
Clearly, I am the luckiest cable TV installer in America to have experienced such an incredible journey over these last 3+ decades. I am so very grateful to my sponsors and all of my great mentors at Comcast, Charter, and Patriot Media, especially Steve Simmons. Thank you to my team at Patriot and our wonderful employees at all of our brands. And a huge thanks to my wife Mandy and our 3 lovely daughters for all of their support. I couldn't have done this without you. Onwards and upwards.
Jack Caparel is General Manager of Service Electric Cable TV. He joined Service Electric in 1965 and has been involved with many early industry developments. Jack supervises more than 400 employees in 2 systems and manages programming and labor negotiations, as well as franchise relations and renewals for the company. He has served on the boards of CTAM, EWTN, and the Pennsylvania Cable TV Association. He is a director of SAFE, an organization that works with autistic children to provide family support. Jack is a Eucharistic minister and active in his home parish. He also supports Big Brothers and Big Sisters and Boy Scouts of America. Jack is sponsored by Joe Gans and Ron Pitcock.
When I started my career in cable 57 years ago, we had tube amplifiers, 12 channels, and our monthly cable rate was $3.50. I have been very fortunate to have worked with some of the greatest innovators and pioneers in our industry, especially John Walson, founder of Service Electric Cable TV, the nation's first cable company. I want to thank my wonderful family, my loving wife Charlotte, and my best friend and son Jack, and his lovely wife Connie, and my 2 awesome granddaughters, Christina and Nicole, for all their love and support. I would like to thank Joe Gans and Ron Pitcock for my nomination. I am honored to be included with the pioneers of this great industry. Thank you.
Sharita Cesar is Senior Vice President of Technology, Environments, and Strategy for Comcast NBCU. She began in cable in 1996 with Scientific Atlanta and served as Vice President of Quality Assurance and Vice President of SCI Care Broadband Services. She moved to Charter and then joined Comcast as Vice President of Product Engineering. As Executive Chair for the Employee Resource of the Black Employees Network, Sharita provides strategic guidance and support for the group's members. Sharita is a member of the Emma Bowen Foundation, a mentor of the Women's Tech Connect initiative, and has served more than 10 years on the WICT board, including terms as treasurer and a member of the programming committee. Sharita is sponsored by Zanita Henderson and Matt Aiden.
Thank you, Cable Pioneers. I am so excited to be part of this industry and what we've been able to accomplish, and just thrilled with this honor. I appreciate Comcast for all that it's done during my career there and continue to do, and the innovation that we bring, the moments that matter to our customers. I had the privilege of having some fantastic teams to be able to make a difference in the industry. And I want to thank my family for all that they've done in support and loving me as I continue to be part of what cable industry is all about. Thank you.
Mark Adams is Director of Outside Plant Engineering and Architectures for Cox Communications. Mark was a principal of SFA Technical Services Group, providing consulting services to cable operators and vendors. He spent 31 years with Scientific Atlanta Cisco, rising through the ranks to Vice President of Applications and Sales Engineers, Vice President of Quality, and Vice President of SciCare Services. A member of SCTE for 3 decades, Mark was elevated to senior member in 2018 and currently serves as president of the Chattahoochee chapter. He holds 2 broadband-related patents, is a certified project management professional, and a supporter of WICT. He has volunteered with Boys and Girls Clubs, Red Cross, United Way, and Food Bank of Atlanta. Mark is sponsored by Dwight Duke and Jim Lee Soccer.
Good evening. I would like to thank the Cable Pioneer Board for bestowing upon me this tremendous honor. I am so humbled to be now part of such a distinguished group of cable TV industry leaders. I want to thank my sponsors, Dwight Duke and Jim Lee Soccer. Your help, friendship, and guidance over the years has been fantastic and is so greatly appreciated. I also want to thank my lovely wife, Sharon. Without her love and support, I probably would not be standing here in front of you this evening. And that also goes for my wonderful children, Brittany and Andrew. Thank you, have a great evening, and I look forward to when we can all be together again soon. Good night.
Chris Lammers is the Chief Operating Officer and Senior VP of Member Development for Cable Labs. He joined Cable Labs in 1997 from Western Communications, where he had been President and Chief Executive Officer. At Cable Labs, he has tripled its memberships in 35 countries in North America, Latin America, Europe, and Asia. Prior to his 11 years with Western, Chris was Associate Counsel and Partner at Cooper, White & Cooper, focusing on mergers and acquisitions for cable clients. Chris serves on the Executive Committee of the Emma Bowen Foundation and on the Cable Center Board. He helps industry associations in Canada, Europe, Japan, Mexico, and Taiwan. Chris is sponsored by Italia Camiso Wynand and Ron Rizzuto.
My heartfelt thanks to the Cable TV Pioneers for this amazing recognition, and for my sponsors, Italia Camiso and Ron Rizzuto. Fred Allen, Dick Green, and Phil McKinney, CEOs that allowed me to take chances, define new roles, and explore relationships. For John Goddard and Spencer Cates, mentors who made a difference. For Bridget Baker, Jana Henthorn, and Maggie Wilderotter, amazing leaders who showed me what it is to influence an industry. For Phyllis Eagle Olson, showing me a commitment to diversity. And for my wife, Debbie, who has given me a lifetime of sharing, support, understanding, and forgiveness. Thank you.
Dick Kirsch began his nearly 15-year cable journey as Vice President of Engineering with Spectrum Cable. When Spectrum was acquired by Colony Communications in March of 1975, Dick became their Director of Engineering. He moved to Greater Media in January of 1982 as Vice President of Engineering. He was instrumental in their franchising efforts throughout the Northeast. In June of 2000, He worked for RCN as Director of Video Network Technology. Dick was elected to the Board of Selectmen of Granville, Massachusetts, and served 3 terms on the board. He was a member of the Granville Lions Club and United States Power Squadron, a boating education organization. Dick is sponsored by Mike Angie and Tony Werner.
I want to thank the Cable Pioneers for this honor. It is important to me. I also want to thank Tony Werner and Mike Angie, my sponsors. I appreciate their support. And I have a special thanks for Bob Foote, who kind of put everything together and made it happen. Something he's been good at over many years. And I'm grateful for the various companies that I worked for along the way. They always provided me with an opportunity for technical excellence and technical growth. And I appreciated it. Thank you.
Kristen Dolan is founder and chief executive officer of 605, a leading television and cross-platform measurement, analytics, and attribution company that she founded in 2016. Kristen began her career in 1990 at Rainbow Media, now AMC Networks, where she held a variety of sales and marketing positions. She later served as Chief Operating Officer of Cablevision Systems Corporation, leading all of the company's cable operations and overseeing thousands of employees. She also oversaw Cablevision Media Sales, the company's advertising sales division. Kristen served on Wick's National Board and currently serves on the board for MSG Entertainment, The Wendy's Company, and Revlon Inc. She has been a featured speaker at conferences sharing insights on pioneering technologies and strategies. Kristen is sponsored by Shar Beals and Josh Sabin.
Thank you, Josh and Shar, for the thoughtful nomination, and to Cable TV Pioneers for this incredible honor. I'm grateful to be recognized among such inspiring individuals. There are many people who share in this award, notably the Dolan family, Charles, Jim, and Patrick, along with the late Wilt Hildenbrand. Most importantly, I'd like to thank the incredible teams at Cablevision and my baby company 605, whose passion, enthusiasm, and commitment to our joint success is beyond inspiring. Thank you again, and have a wonderful evening.
Prior to retiring, Philemon Lopez was Comcast's Senior Vice President of Strategic Operations. He served 9 years as Comcast's Southeast Florida Regional VP and as President of Comcast University. He began in cable in 1983 as production manager for an advertising rep firm. In 1985, he was named Stores Advertising Sales Manager in Florida. He then moved to Georgia to head Cox's Mid-State Advertising Interconnect. Philemon served as Comcast's representative on the NAMIC board. At NAPTI, he brought business and political leaders together at conferences in Miami. He was a Big Brothers and Big Sisters miracle maker in Broward County and received the Urban League's Diversity Champion Award. Philemon is sponsored by Ellen Sned and Dan Casciato.
I want to thank my sponsors, Ellen Sned and Dan Casciato, for nominating me, as well as the Cable Pioneers organization for selecting me for this honor. I congratulate my fellow honorees as we celebrate tonight together. Over the years, I had the pleasure of working with so many people and so many wonderful leadership teams, and I thank them because they made me better. I also want to thank you for making this industry what it is today, as we all together made a difference in so many people's lives. Thank you.
Now, please take a minute to celebrate the lives and accomplishments of the pioneers we lost since we last met.
Some really great people on that list that deserve a lot of respect, and we'll miss them. And so, friends, we gather to celebrate 55 astounding years, powered by more than 700 incredible pioneers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud and pleased to present the class of 2021. First, I'd like to acknowledge and congratulate those who are unable to be with us here in person. Peter Barton, Jack Caparel, Philemon Lopez, Tom McMillan, Patsy Smullen.
And now I'd like to welcome the other class members to join us on stage. Mark Adams, Michael Adams, Richard Amel, Pat Bachman, Tracy Baumgartner, Sharita Cesar, Kristen Dolan, Dale Ellifrit, Diego Gastalde, John Higginbotham, Jim Holanda, Dick Kirsch, who is represented by his daughter Suzanne, Chris Lammers, Wanya Lucas, Amy McLean, Jim McCauley, John Roos, Bob Scanlon, and Tom Olsted. Now I think we're going to take some pictures while everyone is here. Hello. A toast?
A toast? Yes.
All right.
A toast.
Let's have a toast. Wait a second. I have a toast.
Yes.
You roll forward a little bit. We're standing and we will congratulate.
I
Okay.
think what we want to do is
sit
have
in the front.
the
you
back
go. Sit.
stands, and we were going to take some pictures. Congratulations.
Now raise your glass.
Yes.
Welcome the new class. Congratulations. Now remain up here while we wrap up this evening. So once again, to all of our celebration sponsors, partners, donors, and members, thank you for your generous support. We could not have done this evening without all of you.
Dave, so last year we're in Wyoming, and he gave me this lovely gift to celebrate that we're coming here to Atlanta this year, and he gave me this beautiful canned peaches. And I assume it's all they had in Wyoming, Dave, so I got you a gift. Next year we're in Philly. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. All right.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Perfect for a photo op at the Rocky statue. And then we'll go have a steak at Gino's.
I don't think so. We'll go to Pat's, okay? Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for watching.
It's been great to see you all again. See you in Philly.
See you in Philly.